Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Stewart. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. Almost to the end of the week, Augusta, and almost done with this inversion we've been dealing with for so long now.
So this weekend, you might actually be able to see the mountains that you're trying to get out into.
Exactly. You'll be able to see the mountains. You'll see some sunshine. And a couple things that we're tracking for this week is potential for snow to move in like we've been talking about. And then next week, more chances of snow, and then also some of the coldest temperatures of the season that we've seen so far might be moving in by the end of next week. So a lot to get into for the rest of the morning here. Here's your forecast headlines. Like I mentioned, one more day of these inversions. We can do it. Then more active weather with rain and snow and slightly warmer temperatures for the weekend and in the beginning of next week. And like I mentioned, tracking some very cold air rolling in by the middle and end of next week. So finally, we'll start to have some stuff that we can talk about and possibly get some more snow falling as well. Here's that Thursday forecast. 28 in Missoula. We'll be dealing with some patchy fog. 29 in Kalispell. 25 Hamilton. We'll see 24 in Polson with cloudy skies overhead.
Alrighty, thank you, Louis. Montana news this morning. Montana's current two-year budget period, $1.2 billion, will be spent on Medicaid expansion, which is paying medical bills for 86,000 low-income adults. MTN's Mike Dennison has been taking a closer look at how this 18-month program is paying out on the ground in Montana.
We're here at the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribal Health Center in St. Ignatius on the Flathead Indian Reservation, one place where Medicaid expansion has had a significant impact. 15% of those covered in Montana now by the expansion are Native American.
Here in Lake County, we've actually been able to get 1,000 adult Indians covered under the Montana Medicaid program, which allows them to get care.
Statewide, about 13,000 Native Americans are now covered by the expansion, which is part of the Affordable Care Act and funded mostly with federal money. It covers childless adults earning up to 138% of the federal poverty level, about $16,600 a year for a single person. Sorrell says those now covered are more willing and able to get the health care they need, and those providing the care are getting paid for it, whereas before they sometimes weren't.
It has expanded our ability to bill for services that we provide. And when we bill, that money then gets reinvested into expanding services, much needed services for the people that we serve.
The Salish and Kootenai Tribes health system has been able to add another physical therapist and more dental care, and plans to add a speech therapist and a new clinic in Tiny Hot Springs on the west edge of the Flathead Reservation. And it's not just tribal health centers that are benefiting. In Kalispell, the community health clinic has added personnel and programs because they're getting paid for many more of the patients they see.
3 of 10 were covered. After the expansion, we're looking more like at 7 out of 10. That's a tremendous boon.
Across Montana, those newly covered say the expansion has enabled them to get health care they'd put off for years, like in-home care worker Celeste Thompson of Missoula.
I also got new glasses because of it. I hadn't had it for 9 years until I got new glasses. I'm in the process of getting partials, fixing my teeth. It's a godsend.
Or tow truck operator Frank Keel in Billings.
I've been struggling with a bad gallbladder since I was 26 years old. About a month ago I got it out. They take this away from me, just well sign my death certificate.
There's not much argument that Medicaid expansion has been a big boost for lower income Montanans needing care and for many healthcare providers in Montana. But as we'll talk about tomorrow, its future is far from assured. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Montana's Medicaid expansion program is set to expire in 2019 unless the legislature votes to extend it. Also on the Flathead, Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks is seeking public comment on open water fishing contests for the 2018 season. Participants are required to follow state fishing regulations, including daily and possession limits. These conditions placed on contests are in place in hopes of minimizing fish mortality, regulating their harvest, and reducing user conflicts while requiring additional access site maintenance if needed. There are already a number of events set up in 2018 for Region 1, which is events at Flathead, Kootenai, and both the Middle and Lower Thompson Lakes. For a full schedule of the 2018 competition sites and proposed rule changes for the year, you can find that link on our websites. While Glacier National Park is considered one of the breadwinners of the Flathead Valley, bringing in millions of dollars every year, one unlikely spot is also spurring the local economy. A year-long study of Whitefish Legacy Partners by Headwaters Economics shows that annually over $6 million is brought into the local community directly from people's use of the Whitefish Trail. The report interviewed just under 1,800 people and shows that 65% of tourists come to Whitefish to do some sort of outdoor recreation. Outdoor recreation also was at the top of the list for reasons why people visit and end up staying here for good. 51% of local residents say they participate in more outdoor recreation solely because of the Whitefish Trail. In 2016, over 100,000 people used one of the 51 miles of trail available. Top stories this morning: an extraordinary summit of Islamic countries held in Istanbul on Wednesday declared East Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine to counter the recent announcement by U.S. President Donald Trump recognizing Jerusalem as the Israeli capital. The summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation aims to reach a consensus on the Jerusalem dispute among all Islamic countries after Trump unilaterally recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel on December 6th. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the summit host, made a statement announcing East Jerusalem as the capital of the state of Palestine in a strong show of support to Palestine. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas addressed at a press conference after the summit that his country would reject the role of the United States as a mediator if it continues to side with Israel. Abbas added that Palestine will also submit an application to the UN Security Council and UN General Assembly asking for full membership. Established in 1969, the OIC groups 57 countries and regions and has a combined population of over 1.6 billion people. The OIC summit is typically held triennially and aims to solve internal differences in Islamic countries and common problems across the region. The extraordinary meeting was called by Turkey's President Erdogan in the wake of Trump's announcement last Wednesday. And Democrat Doug Jones says he won Tuesday's Alabama Senate race. Republicans and Democrats alike agree that he's the winner, as does President Trump. His opponent, though, Republican Roy Moore, is still not backing down from his claim that the result is far from final. Brooks Silva-Braga has the latest.
The battle rages on.
Roy Moore, the Republican candidate for Alabama's hotly contested Senate seat, is refusing to concede defeat. Last night, he posted this video message.
In this race, we have not received the final count to include military and provisional ballots. This has been a very close race, and we are awaiting certification by the Secretary of State.
Nearly everyone else agrees Democrat Doug Jones won. Unofficial returns show him up 20,000 votes, or 1.5%. That's 3 times the margin needed to avoid an automatic recount.
When the President of the United States, who endorsed Roy Moore, calls me to congratulate me, I think he feels like it's pretty clean cut. Do the right thing, Roy. It's time that we heal.
Yesterday, President Trump not only acknowledged the loss, but also Moore's polarizing effect on the GOP.
Yeah, wish we would have gotten the seat. A lot of Republicans feel differently. They're very happy with the way it turned out. But I would have, as the leader of the party, I would have liked to have had the seat.
After Moore was accused by several women of sexual misconduct, many Republicans publicly withdrew their support. Some were relieved to see him lose.
I hope it sends a message that, we can do better, that Republicans can do better.
If the current tally is certified, Jones will be sworn in January. Brooks Silva-Braga, CBS News.
Even if an automatic recount is not triggered, Moore can still ask for one. In that case, though, his campaign would have to cover the cost. Meteorologist Louis Storch joins us now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Louis.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great Thursday. How about this awesome picture sent in to us yesterday by Rachel down in Hamilton? Beautiful winter scene right here. Getting a lot of pictures like this, as you know. Rachel, thank you so much for this great photo here. Everyone, keep the pictures coming. Said every morning, I love seeing your photos, and another nice one, and we'll continue to show some more as we move throughout the morning. Quick look at your temperatures. Overall, not a bad start to the day, considering where we've been really the past several days in the morning. So we're in the 20s already for most areas, 15 here in Phillipsburg, but we're at 21 in Hamilton, 26 Missoula, 25 there waking up this morning in Kalispell. So just a couple things to keep in mind if you are traveling this morning, especially east over towards the Divide, over towards Butte and Bozeman. We have this freezing fog advisory. This is through 8 a.m. this morning, where you could get some ice developing on the roads, especially over those bridges and overpasses, and then also visibility less than a quarter of a mile at times. I have a picture to show you over McDonald Pass here in just a second, but there is some definitely difficult travel conditions there that you're going to want to keep in mind. Here's a look at your travel watch. So some of the passes, because of that light snow we saw yesterday, and then because of the freezing fog, we are getting some slippery roads out there. So along the Divide, along the Montana-Idaho border, Lookout Pass and Lost Trail Pass, we have scattered snow and ice. And then as you head over towards the Divide, places like Rogers Pass, McDonald Pass, and Homestake Pass, this is where we have snow and ice being recorded there. And then this is what it looks like over McDonald Pass this morning. You can see very dense fog. Like I mentioned, this is freezing fog, so some of that will be falling on the roadways, creating those icy conditions. Now, a couple things I want to show for you here on your 7-day forecast. Today, this is the last time we have those inversions before we're going to start to clear it out as we roll into Friday and through the weekend. Now, notice we're going to have the best chance of snow Friday night into Saturday morning. The higher elevations along the Montana-Idaho border and the passes could see 2 to 5 inches of snow. Valley just adjusting to 2 inches. Now, we're going to get a little bit of a break on Sunday before we're going to bring in some more active weather as we roll into next week with temperatures mostly in the 30s. We are going to be seeing those light scattered rain and snow showers. Same thing for Kalispell. So we're going to bring some snow for tomorrow. Best chance during the evening and overnight hours. Then it's clearing it out for Sunday with more snow as we move into next week. In Hamilton, we'll see 25 today, 37 on Friday, 32 on Saturday, and then temperatures mostly in the 30s, to start next week.
All righty, thank you, Lewis. Montana This Morning continues right after this break, but first, here's a look at your birthday shout-outs.